Yo, we got to talk about The Godfather of Harlem. I'm Anthony with themovieblog.com, and I'm back here with another video. Let's dive into our review for the season 3 finale of The Godfather of Harlem. Now, if you're not familiar, The Godfather of Harlem is an American crime drama television series that premiered back in 2019. It stars Forest Whitaker as Bumpy Johnson, who's a notorious Harlem gangster who returns from prison in the 1960s to find that the Italian mafia has taken over his neighborhood. Johnson, who's determined to reclaim his turf, partners with Malcolm X and other prominent African-American figures to fight against the Italian mob and protect his community. Throughout the series, you get to see the complex relationships of political alliances between Johnson, Malcolm X, Adam Clayton Powell Jr., and other historical figures as they confront the challenges of their time. Alongside Whitaker, the show features an ensemble cast of talented actors, including Vincent D'Onofrio, Lucy Fry, and Giancarlo Esposito. As usual, let's just hop into the good. I love how approachable this show is. There's just so many shows where I feel intimidated in hopping in and watching like their latest episode, but The Godfather of Harlem is amazing at avoiding this problem. This show tells the familiar story of Bumpy Johnson, a character we've seen in old movies like Hoodlum, and I think he also appears in the Denzel Washington movie American Gangster. There's also the story of Malcolm X, and that story being intertwined with this one makes for some fantastic television. There's just something so familiar about this story that makes it easy to enjoy. There are other stories hinted at in the episode that makes the idea of going back and watching past episodes seem more intriguing. Everything with the CIA, the FBI, and the Italian mob makes me want to learn more. And there's so many characters with stories that pay off in this episode that I'm genuinely curious to watch. Now, the acting in this episode is on another level. I only got to see him in one episode, but Jason Allen Carvell is a marvelous Malcolm X. I'm learning that the role was previously played by another actor, but Jason did a great job. The real treat is watching Forest Whitaker and Vincent D'Onofrio act opposite of each other. These are two of the finest actors alive, and they are giving us outstanding performances in this episode. There's a scene in which they confront someone who is out to do them harm. Now, I don't want to ruin anything if you haven't watched the show or the series, but they displayed this communication through incredibly satisfying body language. The scene itself is a highlight, and the way that they perform at this moment is a triumph. These two are some of the finest alive, and they're pulling off a masterclass in acting here. The way this episode tells the story of Malcolm X is also pretty heavy. There's definitely times I feel like I'm watching a show about Malcolm X rather than about Bumpy. I never knew Malcolm and Bumpy were working together at that time. I want to see more about their story and find out how Malcolm and Bumpy's working together affects each other. Malcolm was a fairly righteous man, and the idea of him working with criminals is intriguing. I can't help but think of 90s rapper Tupac Shakur and his efforts to be a civil rights activist by appealing to the LA gang culture. Was this the inspiration for Tupac? Yo, there's just so much I need to know, and this show just wants me to watch. Of course, with everything good, there's some bad. One thing is, I wasn't feeling the Italian mob in this episode. They were just a little too Abbott and Costello-ish for me and came off corny. This is more obvious when the scenes featuring the Italian mob are compared to the scenes with just about everyone else. I know their scenes serve a greater narrative, but I know nothing about it, and it comes off as disappointing. There's a scene where one of the Italian mob guys just wants to shoot Bumpy with an assault rifle, and that scene just comes off so cartoonish based off of either the bad dialogue between the crew or just bad performances. Something else that I fall under the bad, and this is my own fault, I cheated myself by not watching prior episodes. This show is showing off some really good quality storytelling here, and I really should do myself the service of going back and watching the show in its entirety. Overall, this is a great episode. There's great directing, there's great filming. This actually feels like a mini movie, and I really love how easy it was to hop into this episode and enjoy it without seeing any prior episodes. I may go back and watch the series for review purposes just to see what I've been missing. Just going over the review card now. Out on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving the acting in this episode an 8 out of 10. Vincent D'Onofrio, Forest Whitaker, everyone involved did their thing, and I really think that they are on another level. Cinematography and visual effects, another 8 out of 10. This episode was a triumph in storytelling, editing, and interweaving so many different storylines into one cohesive narrative. The plot and screenplay, 9 out of 10. This is fantastic storytelling right here. This is top-notch stuff that other television shows need to mimic and learn from. Setting and theme, 8 out of 10. Harlem looks so believable. I feel like I was transported in time when I watched this show. Everything about it just breathes and feels like 1960s Harlem. Watchability, 9 out of 10. Again, this is the first time I've watched this show, and I can't believe how easy it was for me to just hop in and enjoy this episode. Rewatchability, easily a 9 out of 10. I feel like there's things I can just pick up and relearn and re-enjoy by rewatches and recommendations to others. I really just want to rewatch it with my friends so we can all enjoy it together. Anyway, overall, I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. This is a great episode, great narrative, great storytelling. This is the one to watch. If you haven't seen The Godfather of Harlem, it's playing now on MGM Plus. I highly recommend it. Anyway, that's my overall review for The Godfather of Harlem Series 3 finale. If you're new here to the movie blog, do me a favor, please. Hit that like button right there. Get initiated, subscribe, join the squad. This way you can keep up with I publish new reviews and news updates, and we could talk about it together. Otherwise, I'm going to have to check you guys later. Peace.